Hi, welcome back to my channel. Okay, I'm still doing my series. Not too much left. Um, okay, so this episode, I wanted to talk about kind of what happened when we moved here and Bridget's behavior. Bridget has always been a little aggressive. She is self-aggressive. She hits herself in the head. Uh, Bang, like she'll lay down and bang her head on the floor. Um, but before we moved here and after, she was only aggressive with my daughter Katie and my husband at the time. She was never aggressive with me. So we were here about 2 years, and my husband and I split up. Um, so I was thrust into single motherhood. Katie was, I believe, a freshman in high school, and Bridget would have then been, I think she was in her first year of 8th grade, or last year of 7th. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. Um, Bridget had um, precocious puberty. She started puberty when she was about 9. And so a lot of her moods are governed by her hormones. She was totally, past puberty, or, past the beginnings of puberty by the time she was 9. So, like I said, after that, she got a lot more aggressive. And so when my husband was not here anymore, she would take it out on Katie a lot more. So I kind of tried my best to keep them apart, but then she started taking it out on me. I have been. She pulled me down onto her lap one time and started punching the back of my head. She sprained my hand one time. She bruised me up quite a bit. And there was a program here where you could call an emergency intervention group. And they would come out and assess the person, try to calm down the situation and whatnot. So I called them one day while she was at school. And I said, can you come, like, before she gets out of school? Because I know it's going to happen. And they said no. They could only come after they were called, after an incident began. And I was like, well, pretty much you'll miss it then. Because, I'll have had to resolve something myself. So we weren't able to access that program. She ended up coming home and would get in the front door, literally, bang her head on the floor and have a nosebleed. So I would immediately just take her up to her bed, which is an enclosed bed system. It's all padded, and it's covered with netting so that she couldn't get out. So then I would tend to her up there, because the minute I brought her out, she would lose her mind. Then one day she came in from school and broke her hand. She was laying on the ground, on the floor, and just kept slamming her hands back. And I called the pediatrician, and I was like, I really believe she broke her hand, because it was extremely swollen and extremely painful. And he said, okay, well, you need to take her to St. Christopher's and have it x-rayed. Again, they would not sedate her for x-rays. So they put us in a waiting room, in a emergency room. And she literally ripped out 5 chunks of hair out of my head. There was hair all over the floor. And then they said, okay, we'll take her in and we'll x-ray her hand. And I said, well, good luck with that, because you're not going to be able to do it. And they weren't. So all of that was a wasted trip. Get home, and the doctor even said, he goes, you cannot cast her hand, because then she'll have a weapon. She'll have a hard weapon to hit herself, to hit you, whatever. So I just ace bandaged it for about a week before she learned how to take the ace bandage off. And I just had to let her let it heal. And at this point, she was coming in the door and going right up to her room. So I would hang out in my room. I would put her TV on, let her chill out in her bed for the evening. Sometimes I would just sit in there with her. She did not want me around her. She did not want her sister around her. And in her bed was the only place she was not hurting herself. So she went on to have probably about 2 weeks of nosebleeds because of the head banging. And then actually broke her hand again about 2 months later. 3 months later. Something like that. So I was really at the end of my rope with having my clothes ripped off of me, just getting her ready in the morning. She would have, say, a poopy diaper, and she would run away from me. Or she would scooch all over the floor and get it everywhere. She would kick me when I changed her. She would throw things at me. One Thanksgiving dinner, she threw a can of formula at me and smashed the entire plate of stuffing that I was homemade. And thank God Katie had some already. I, of course, didn't. So, and I was trying to get her to sit down, at the table with us. And she got angry and grabbed a can of formula and threw it at me. It was just a lot of violence, and from her, not me. And it was like reaching a crescendo. So we got in touch with Biata nurses, and finally got nursing for when she came home from school until she went to bed. So they would come and get her off the school bus, take care of her until, back then she was going to bed, because she got up early. So she was going to bed like 6:30. And I literally had to stay away from her. I would sit up in my room, I would go shopping, I would take a walk, I would, whatever. Most of the time I stayed in my room. And so we did this for a couple months because we really needed her to forget that she was supposed to be beating up on me. I know that sounds crazy. But even we had a meeting one time where someone had to meet her, and I wasn't able to come in the house. So I met with the person outside and had my little meeting, and then he came in with the nurse and had the meeting with, to see how Bridget was and acted and all these different things. So, we had the nurses all together about a year. About halfway through that year, we got a fabulous nurse who really took it upon herself to help me to get back introduced to Bridget. It was really that serious. Bridget wanted nothing to do with me. I don't know if it was because her dad was gone or she felt my stress. I don't know. So the nurse was here and was working so well with her. And I was finally able to walk through the room. And then I was able to approach Bridget and sit near her for a minute. And then gradually I was able to come in the room and not engage with her, but I was able, while she was watching TV, I could watch TV with her. The nurse was bathing her, giving her her night meds, all those kind of things. And she was just fabulous. And she knew our goal was to not have a nurse. And that was really important, that she knew that was her goal, was not just to tend to Bridget, but to wean her off of nursing back onto me. Nurses back onto me. Which she did help me with. And, gradually, like I said, I was introduced back into the routine. I would help with this. I would help with that. Like, it really was a reintroducing me to my daughter, or reintroducing me to my daughter. Because the anger had started to pass. And finally, I was able to, again, take up the role of sole caregiver. And this was, maybe over 10 years ago now. But we still have problems with, or I still have problems with, she gets PMS really bad, or hormonal things, and she'll get really angry at the animals, or she'll get angry at my boyfriend. Sometimes she just gets angry, but I am now able to put her in timeout. She understands timeout, and that she is secluded from the group, and she actually just sits in the dining room, which I can see, I can see her from where I'm sitting. Sometimes now she'll calm down if I just tell her to knock it off, and she'll calm right down, because she will get very aggressive with the animals. And sometimes if she gets angry, she still will bang her head and punch her head. But I don't let her anymore. She is monster strong. Crazy strong. One time, she was young, a lot younger, and she had what we thought was pink eye. And I had to put drops in her eyes. And literally laid on her, and she threw me off of her. At my size and how little she was, she actually threw me right off of her. So like I said, she's monster strong, and she will still punch if she wants to. But I have it now where I can pretty much foresee that happening, and get her to time out. Or, like I said, get her to understand where she is, that it's enough. Because sometimes if I take her to time out, she's grabbing things to throw on the way. So sometimes it's not really the best idea. And I will tell her where she's sitting. And it's really crazy because of her deafness. I don't have to yell at her. I'll be like, I won't even be saying anything. I'll just be moving my mouth and doing this. And she knows that she's in trouble. It's kind of funny if someone else would see it from the outside. But she, like I said, she gets very hormonal, so I know her cycle, and I know when the anger, or where the anger's coming from most of the time. And we'll let her alone. I will make sure the animals are not near her. I will put on definitely all of her shows that she likes. Maybe even get her, besides her, after dinner, get her a little treat. Get her some ice cream. She has troubles with cold and all that, but just a little couple scoops of ice cream. Those kind of things, so that she can just be a little more pampered, because she needs that sometimes. So now, I mean, it's a very easy lifestyle with her. Like I said, she still gets angry, but I know how to deal with it, and my head has been this way the whole time, and I don't know why. And I might have to redo this, because I just realized it. But it's been very, we're like buddies now. We have fun going out in the car. When we were able to, we had fun at the grocery store. Just doing stuff. With her camp, that we just had the virtual camp. I didn't think she could do it. We had a great time. We were laughing the whole time. And she's now very, it's just such a more structured life, but not structured. I mean, like, her recyclables are where they are always, so she knows when she gets up to go get her recyclables and put them in the recycle bin, which is in the house. And when she wants her formula, which I've said before, she drinks formula to increase her calorie intake for the day, because the cerebral palsy just burns up all her calories. And she waits and gives it to me, and drinks out of a bottle, because, again, I do not want her throwing formula all over my house. There's enough spilled out from the bottles. But she'll take the can and go recycle it. She likes to watch me cook, and she'll stay on the other side of the island where it's safe. And so we have a good time now. She likes to lean over the island and give me kisses, and she's just very funny, and like I said, so the worst of the behavior things is over. She still won't go into like large crowds and things like that, and doctor appointments and whatnot, but I've arranged with every doctor she sees that they either come out to the car, or we sit somewhere in the hallway, like on a chair in the hallway. If she goes into the office, she knows where she is. And her regular doctor does house calls. So that is, I can't tell you, what a relief that is. So that was that chapter of of her behavior, which has, I mean, consumed a long time of her life. And now, being 30, she's maturing. And all along, I've been maturing. All along, I've been learning how to see what is coming. She was taken off of a medication last year or the year before because they don't actually make it anymore for private patients. They only use it for in group homes and things like that. So her behavior has changed. But we're doing a telemed with her psychiatrist next week. So I do not ever request medications that will dope her up. And but if there's some kind of medication that'll chill her out a little bit, maybe like one that would work with her chemical imbalance instead of being a sedative or something. I don't want anything like that. But like I said, she's, the behavior part, for the most, I've gotten under control. And she's a good kid. She's a happy woman. And she's proud of herself. She knows when she's looking good. She's just a wonderful person to be around. Alright, so I'm not even sure if this is the end of my series. It might be, because I know, I don't want it to go on forever for you. But I might make another one with things I forgot after I watch all the ones I've made. But I will eventually show you either pictures of Bridget or a little video here or there. I don't want to invade her privacy by filming her a lot. It was never my intention to have her spotlighted as far as her self in it, in this. As far as filming and whatnot. I really value her privacy, and she has some movements and things that I just don't think are appropriate to share. So, but you'll definitely see pictures of her, and like I said, maybe a video or two here or there, but, well, I hope you enjoyed this series, and I hope it's over. I'm not 100% sure. And please subscribe, like my video. I have absolutely no analytics yet. And I am wishing for everyone's safety, and you all take care and be well.